So we just stole the next door neighbor's candy bag for Halloween. Hey guys, it's Joshua Reviews. I don't know what the point of that was either. So, this movie, Hallowed Ground. Okay. So I've talked about this movie before. This is one of my older reviews. So, as you know, my older reviews, they are privated, if you didn't know that. My older reviews are, I think, up to the point where I reviewed The Gallows, since that was kind of the first review where I started giving out ratings for films. All my other videos beforehand are privated. I do plan on eventually re-reviewing all those movies, but nonetheless, Hallowed Ground. This is the film we're going to be re-reviewing today. I figured it would be appropriate since it's a scarecrow film, and I do remember liking it. I'll admit, though, I was a little nervous rewatching it, but nonetheless, here we go. So this film is about a traveler girl. I don't know. This girl basically gets her car breaks down in the middle of this town, and they tell her it can't be fixed till morning. So she's stuck in the town, and she meets this reporter, and they kind of have like a little friendship going on. So she meets her, and she tells her, this reporter tells her about the town and how it's creepy, and there's a farmhouse that we should go check out because that farmhouse has something. So they go there, and they build a scarecrow, and eventually later in the night the scarecrow becomes alive, presumably possessed, and they go to the town to try to stay alive, and some things unfold. That's all I want to say, because this movie has a twist that I did not see coming the first time I saw it, and because I didn't remember it, because I watched it so long ago and I'm finally re-reviewing it, it was a very interesting twist, to say the least. So I'm not going to spoil it, but I will definitely talk briefly about some things about it. So here we go. Okay, so right off the get-go, I think that story's cool. I'm a sucker for scarecrow films. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm a sucker for scarecrow films. Granted, there are not a lot out there. The few that are out there typically are bad, but there are a few exceptions. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, Husk. Scary stories told in the dark counts, right? Nonetheless, there are good ones, and there are bad ones. The majority are bad, and I would like to see a modern-day Scarecrow movie, but we have this film, because let me say this is definitely in the good category. I did like this film very much. First of all, for a made-for-TV film, the production quality is really damn good. You really get a sense that this town is very ominous, and it feels like a real town, not like a Hollywood studio backlot like in Wrong Turn 5, where it's like, this is an actual town, and it's totally not the backlot of a studio. So you actually feel like they're in a town. And when shit starts to go down, you're like, whoa, okay, the production value is high. I was like, wow, okay, I was really impressed by the production value. That's what I'm trying to say. I was really impressed. The characters, thank God, were likable, because this film could have easily had unlikable characters. And don't get me wrong, there are a fair share of unlikable characters in this film, but that's spoiler territory, and this is probably a film I don't feel like spoiling. So, yeah, but I did like our main character. I did like the characters in this. You really get a sense of who they are, and I really like the motivation, and I like the twist. And I think that the killer scarecrow's motive is really interesting, as well as unique. It's probably been done before, but I don't think it's been done to this extent. I mean, here's what I'll say. I feel like there's two separate ideas, one of the Scarecrow and one of the other thing, and I feel like both of these ideas have been explored elsewhere in other films, but they combine those two ideas, kind of like, the body switch thing, but make it like a horror comedy with a slasher, like in Freaky. They took two concepts, slasher and switching bodies, and they combined it. So I feel like they did a good job with the two ideas that they do with this film. With that being the twist and the killer Scarecrow. I also like, this is something probably, I don't think I mentioned that much, but the pacing in this film was really good for a made-for-TV film. Oftentimes, made-for-TV films have really odd pacing. This film didn't. I really like the pacing in this film. It felt like a beginning, middle, and end. We have the beginning where everything's set up, you have the twist in the middle, and then you have the crazy climax, which just keeps getting more frantic and frantic. I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. And let me just say, the Scarecrow looks really freaking cool. I love the way the Scarecrow looks in this film, and he does some cool things. There is a lot of kills in here, and if you're a gore hound, there's some stuff to appreciate. There's a lot of stuff that I really dug in this film. The effects were pretty cool, and I gotta say, for a made-for-TV film, the acting was pretty decent. Like I said, sometimes TV films can be ass, and a lot of that has to do with the acting, production value, and a lot of the, But this film was surprising to me, honestly. There was also another twist towards the end that I thought was really cool, one involving a cop. That's all I'll say. Honestly, I don't really know what to say for this one because I enjoyed this film quite a bit, and I think I got most of my thoughts out. So, what I'll say this. I saw some negative reviews for this film, and I don't really get it. I don't really get why there's a lot of negative reviews for this film. Maybe I missed something, but then again, there are films people like out there that I wasn't too big a fan of, so who knows? The one thing I will say that makes this film for me is its characters, its killer, the killer Scarecrow, and the whole story. That's what made this film for me. The way it's paced, the characters, and the killer. Everything is executed very well in this film. It's not perfect, obviously, it's a made-for-TV film. What do you expect? Like, it's gonna have some low production moments, but nonetheless, I was impressed with this film. So, believe it or not, I'm gonna give it an A-. Yeah, that feels right. What do you say we get out of here?